Welcome back. How's your morning go? Yeah, there's lots going on in our world, man. The Twins got sausage. The Vikes got a bunch of starters on day 3. Who's going to be the next Ivan Pace Jr.? I don't know. But we definitely have him on the roster now. And, of course, your Timberwolves have moved on to the second round by sweeping some and literally screaming as they ran off the court.
The juice is limited.
That's what they screamed. Big Beetlejuice fans, this squad.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. So lots going on.
No, when you said screaming as they ran off the court, I think you meant Chris Finch.
Yeah, it was just Finchy. That's right. Yeah,
he was screaming the F word when Mike Conley ran into him.
Yeah, the look on his face was like, that guy is not fooling. He hurts right now.
Yeah.
And how about the faces of the Suns fans that sit in those first handful of rows? At first, they're all laughing like, that's how... Oh.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
They even started booing him initially.
Probably shouldn't laugh.
Yeah.
Oh, don't boo Finchy.
Let
the man stand up.
You tear your patella and people are booing you. That's unbelievable.
And I like for a second the Wolves players treated Chris Finch like a gal that has to pee at a concert, like an outdoor festival.
Yeah, I didn't understand that
they all like made a wall around him to give him privacy. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's protect our coach. Let's not let the cameras show him flopping around like a fish on a dock.
It's because he was crying so hard.
Maybe.
And they were embarrassed for him.
And what were they calling for? Were they calling for like the cart or the gurney or something?
Yeah, when they were all holding up their hand in a fist. I think that was... Yeah, can you bring a wheelchair or a cart or something? But then they stood him up and just walked him off with a guy on each of his shoulders.
Did you see that the one guy came out with a shotgun? They were going to just put him out of his misery.
Were they really?
Yeah, they were just going to take him out.
Wow.
Yeah, Sauce, I think the phrase is when you're in a pinch, just shoot Finch.
Yeah, I think you're right. Brilliant.
That's right.
Looked like you were going to.
What was the horse that had to be put down at the Kentucky Derby like 10 years ago?
Barbaro.
Barbaro, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's like they treat him like Barbaro.
It was weeks after, but he got hurt.
No, the one that they did right on the track.
That one I don't remember. Because Barbaro is the one that fought.
Remember that?
Yeah.
The only reason I remember Barbaro is we did a bit for weeks as we were tracking his progress because they were trying to save him until he eventually died. But
there was one that they did. They surrounded him with like
I remember that.
the
I don't
horse
remember the name of the
ambulance
horse,
thing
though.
right at that first corner.
Yeah.
When it collapsed, and they're
What
like,
was that horse's name?
Blue.
Derby's this week.
Yeah, Derby is this week.
Derby's on Saturday.
Glue Johnson.
You know what the horse's last words were?
No.
Guys, I just broke my leg.
Yeah. I can stand.
It's cool.
Wait, that's a big needle. What are you doing?
What are you doing? Hey, look at it. This thing, it still works. Look at it. Oh, weird last words from a horse.
No, just help me out. Help me out.
Hey, I'm going to shake it off. I'm going to shake it off.
Let me just walk this thing off here.
I think the last words were, did we just make it to round 2?
Oh my God.
That's so aggressive.
Tommy gun?
That's a lot.
That's a lot of blood.
Oh my God.
I just said the word Uzi. I don't know why. Like, all the rage these days is the AK-47. Back in my day, it was Uzis.
Same.
Oh, it was Uzi.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That was a cool term.
Yeah.
Yeah, muskets. He remembers Uzis.
Yeah.
Muskets?
Muskets.
Muskets.
Yeah,
and
you're going
Uzis.
way back.
Yeah.
I must.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Musket.
I should do the news while he gets all situated. Hi, Mussman. Okay.
This is KFAN News with Chris Hockey, presented by the St. Paul Saints.
Yeah, and I know that a lot of you were upset because yesterday's Saints game got a little rain on it. Don't worry about it. The St. Paul Saints weren't able to complete their series against the Rochester Red Wings yesterday. The series finale at CJ's Field postponed due to rain. The game will be made up in a doubleheader when the Saints visit Rochester next month. Don't worry about it. St. Paul hosts Louisville tomorrow. Get your tickets at saintsbaseball.com. Thank you, St. Paul Saints.
It did seem to rain from about 11 o'clock in the morning, basically the rest of the day.
It was the perfect Sunday.
Yes,
All
it was.
day.
Well
Oh,
said,
it's the
Hawk.
best. We had multiple baseball things that got canceled, and it was like, as a parent, you're like, yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the best feeling in the world. When somebody just at the last second cancels something you didn't want to do, which is everything you agree to do.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's that dude I'm impersonating?
Lil Jon.
That guy. A Sparks-based Sierra Nevada Corporation out in Sparks, Nevada, has been awarded a $13 billion defense contract by the U.S. Air Force. Now, you're wondering, what in the hell is that all about? Why are you reporting that as your top news story, Hockey? Because the rest of the news sucks. And this. the company will build a replacement for the E-4B, which is the plane known as the Doomsday Plane.
Oh, boy.
Great.
The Air Force has currently got 4 of them up in the skies, but they're aging. The planes usually transport the U.S. Defense Secretary, but can also double as a mobile nuclear command and control outpost. The contract runs through 2036 to build these planes. Guys, you know those things are around, right? You know they're up there.
Oh, yeah, they're there.
But here's the thing about those things, about a mobile nuclear command and control outpost that's in the sky. Humans built those, and guess what humans do? Make mistakes. Always freaks me out to know those exist, right? Mm-hmm. I don't want to read news stories about them.
So who did you say gets transported around in that thing?
The Secretary of State.
And you know Rosen has to sit exit row because he's got long legs.
Correct.
Oh, God, Rosie, get lost.
Yeah, Rosie, get lost in the world.
Oh, poor.
Just pay for first class.
Yeah.
Doesn't that seem like a way better way to get around than Air Force One?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm taking the Doomsday plane, you guys.
Doomsday
That's
plane.
my ride.
Yeah, that's kind of badass.
That's
pretty
so badass. Right, yeah.
Pretty badass.
Like, you guys go get on that Air Force One. I'm going to go over here to the World Destroyer.
It makes it sound like if the world ended, that plane would just fly around for eternity.
Yep.
Yeah.
And never
Right.
have to
Would.
land back in this
Right.
mess
It
that is just
rides
annihilated.
the nuclear wave that you created.
And just it floats in the clouds for the rest of time.
But listen, any
Never
kind
landing.
of turbulence makes my eyebrows raise. If I'm sitting next to a nuclear bomb, I'm going to be a little even more freaked out.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Of course, if I go down, we all go down. So I guess I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd never feel it.
Yeah, you've said that.
And you're worried about the doors. Are they going to stay on?
Yeah,
You just don't
Yeah,
know.
you're like, did
Ray
Boeing, did
Manzarek.
Boeing make this? Yeah, that's badass, man.
You'd be like
Have
the
you
dude
guys-
from Doctor Strangelove.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that graphic of how many nuclear weapons that each country has? It will blow your mind.
It's crazy.
It's crazy how many nuclear weapons are in the world that we know of.
You know what you should do when you, instead of looking at that, just puff, pass.
Yeah, you can't do anything
Yeah,
about it.
do
Yeah,
talk
just
about
relax.
it.
A new survey is ranking the best cities to enjoy marijuana.
Oh, God. Abbott's going to hate this segment. More pot talk.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Can we take a guess?
Sure.
California?
That's not a city.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Denver,
L.A.
San Diego?
Las
LA,
Vegas.
Denver, Las
Portland.
Vegas.
Albuquerque.
No, not Portland.
Interesting.
San Francisco and New York.
Wow.
Those are the big ones.
I always forget New York has.
Yeah. They compared the 300 biggest cities where recreational marijuana is legal, based their determination on 6 categories, including the munchies and the access to munchie relief.
Yeah. How many Funyuns are sold in New York?
According to industry analysts, that's not the word, analysts, the economic impact generated by regulated marijuana sales could top $112 billion this year.
112.
God, you know how many doomsday planes you could buy with that? By the way, the Associated Press has a slightly different list than the one you just read.
Yeah, what's it say?
It says Denver's number 1, San Francisco 2, Vegas 3, New York 4, White Bear Lake, Minnesota 5.
Yeah, okay, it's moved up.
Guess
This one says
one
they're
guy.
6th. Yeah, right. Yeah.
How
Great,
is
more
Vegas
pot
not on the
talk.
top of that list? Think about everything at your fingertips.
It is.
Correct.
It's oh, no, I'm sorry. It's number 3. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
the
right. I
best
see what you're
restaurants in
saying.
the world.
Well, probably affordability. I mean,
Oh, that's true, too.
but I guess why would L.A. be at the top then?
Oh, no.
Right.
Right.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
You got cheap hotel rooms. You got all these restaurants and all this food that's open 24/7.
Yeah, man. It just smells like one big weed
Baggy.
Cloud.
out there. Yeah,
Sweet.
like everywhere you go, somebody's toking it up. And I don't know when I'll ever get used to that. Like, when will I get used to smelling pot in public without thinking to myself, here come the cops?
Right.
Everyone knows.
Tell me about it.
Everyone knows.
Call the cops.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get a little paranoid and you're not even smoking.
I'm not even smoking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even if you were, it's legal there.
Right,
I
yeah.
know.
So you ain't got to worry.
Yeah. I
Just
don't want
go
to give
gamble.
anybody an excuse to put me in handcuffs. So,
Well-
my only goal in life at this point is to never be put in handcuffs.
What if it's
Again.
my dad?
That's never happened.
No, and please don't jinx me.
Don't put it out there.
Please, I don't want it to ever
God,
happen.
I hope that happens
I
today.
would gnaw my arms off.
But I'm just hoping that you just get arrested and it's like just a mistake.
That's something bad to hope for.
Yeah,
Yeah,
why
but
would you
it's like,
hope
it'll
for
be
that?
like it's like Scared Straight. It's like it'll scare you
No.
for about 8
No,
hours.
dude, I'm
and
already
like,
straight.
with your new haircut, they mistake you for some other criminal.
I know. Every
Yeah,
time I
good
see
point.
myself, I want to curb myself.
Wow.
Jeez.
Worst scene of all time.
I
can't. I've only seen it one time.
Yeah.
I've only seen it one time.
Yeah, American History X.
Yeah.
The sound
It's the worst.
that guy's
my-
teeth make when he gently puts his teeth on the curb. You're like, can I just change movies? Can we watch Boiler Room instead? Oh boy, that was a tough watch.
Yes,
Yes,
tough,
it
man.
was.
But
It's a really good movie.
A fantastic film, right?
Great film.
Yep, Edward Norton.
He's the best. I love Edward Norton.
Hard not to.
Yeah, he's great.
He's freaking Worm, man. Not in that movie. Worm.
Did you guys ever do the worm?
Yeah, all the time.
I couldn't do it.
During the pandemic, I learned how to do it.
Yeah, there's a wrestler,
Yeah,
Scotty
but I can't do it
Too
now.
During the pandemic,
Well,
you
yeah, I
learned
learned how to moonwalk and do the worm.
You can moonwalk?
Not anymore.
That's so 4 years ago.
That's so for I didn't. Once we broke out of those chains, I just stopped practicing.
I was so mad because I could only do the worm backwards. I couldn't do it forward.
Can you do it
Do
now?
it backwards?
Yeah.
That seems like a special skill.
No, it's
you do it
easier to do
now?
it that way.
Is that a euphemism? The
Could you
backwards
show us?
worm?
Well,
Right now?
let's wait until 8 o'clock when we got the cameras on.
Oh, good point.
You
We're
can do
the
it?
viewers.
Yeah, just hop right up on the table.
I
and
don't know
do
if
it.
I'll get back up, but yeah.
We have to see this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my body don't bend like
Yeah,
that.
I can't. No way. You can do the worm?
Yeah.
You're 58.
I look 58, but truly
No.
I'm 51, you bastard.
Yeah, I'm older than Muss.
Yes, you are. But just by a year.
Yeah, not by much.
Ain't no big deal, baby.
You're handling it way better than I am.
Yeah, look at me. I'm doing great.
He's the pinnacle of having it all together.
What if Chris was sincere and all of us got laughed when he said he was being We all know he was being sarcastic.
Well
but
said.
what if he meant that sincerely? We're all like, oh my God.
Now he's
great
crying.
One, great one.
Yeah, my final day.
Sauce, lots of sports to discuss because the Wolves are moving on. The draft is over. The NBA playoffs roll on. The NHL playoffs roll on. Sauce will do sports with Muss and Ben Lieber and the rest of the Power Trip Morning Show after this on the Van.
Power Trip Morning Show. Welcome back. Hey,
It's
listen.
never good when our best material is off the air.
Well, I can't do the. I just.
no,
was,
all of that was
I was just
fireable.
telling-
That was super funny.
I was telling Max my hope for the Mike Tyson fight.
When is that?
June, we believe.
End of July.
And oh my, okay, we got a while yet. Looking forward to that. But I'm also looking forward to sports.
It's time for Fan 5 on the Power Trip, presented by All Around Property Preservation.
Oh, good.
Thank you all around.
The Minnesota Timberwolves complete the sweep and beat the Suns 122-116 to complete the first sweep of a 4-game series in Minnesota sports team history.
Let's go.
Ant had 40, Cat had 28. Late in the fourth quarter, Mike Conley collided with Chris Finch, and Finch had to be helped off the court. He ruptured his patellar tendon. The last time the Suns were swept was 1999 against the Blazers.
That was during the Bizkit baby boom.
Yeah, correct. They wanted to go home and listen to Limp Bizkit. They didn't want to play
100%.
basketball.
Significant Other had just come out, and the Suns are like, I'm done with this
Yeah, I don't care
basketball
about-
garbage.
Yeah, I got to go home and listen to that. Let's see here. The Wolves will now wait for the winner of Denver and L.A. Denver leads the series 3-1. Game 5 is tonight at 9 o'clock. Denver is a 7.5-point favorite, Maxo.
Yeah, no, it was a super fun game to watch. I think they said there was the most lead changes in any playoff game in any series thus far. So it was really back and forth for a while. Anthony Edwards had nothing in the first half. He didn't have a whole. The Wolves in general didn't have a whole lot. Karl Anthony Towns and Jaden McDaniels were the only ones kind of keeping them afloat. And what do we always say about the playoffs? You need your superstars to elevate and shine even brighter, and that's what Anthony Edwards did. Second half, he scored 31 of his 40 points. I mean, my God, what more can you say? He just was making plays left and right, and not just scoring. His playmaking, that's obviously we know the Wolves are bigger than the Suns. They're deeper than the Suns. but their playmaking advantage. They are greater than the Sun, in fact.
Are you greater than the Suns?
And they just have more playmakers that can make the extra pass. This team is more cohesive. They're more together. And the Suns, it's just iso ball. It was Kevin Durant. Hey, here, KD, 40-year-old KD. Why don't you go save us? Devin Booker, without getting all those whistles. He was super frustrated, and Bradley Beal had absolutely nothing in any of these 4 games. So it was...
That been the whole thing in the third quarter that Ant has just been fantastic so far?
Yeah,
in the playoffs.
Just the Wolves in general. Their third quarter differential was a startling number, and in the fourth quarter he was lights out. It was incredible.
Did you panic when he had to change the shoes?
No, I never panic. Not panic. And is at the point where I never panic.
Correct.
No, even if he's 0 for 20, I'm never going to panic because he's truly that good, and he finds a way to make a difference even if he doesn't have it shooting.
Although he did roll his ankle about 15 times last night, and every one of them I kind of had to catch my breath going, no, come on.
That happens to him a lot, though. He always shakes it off, and he always plays. So, like, I have the utmost faith in him.
That dunk he had was just a...
my God.
I love how Katie just got out of the way.
Yeah.
Business decision.
He is...
Katie was like, nope.
He is so good, Ben.
And no foul on that one because he gets just...
He got hacked, too.
Yeah,
the refs were terrible. We all know about Scott
terrible.
Foster. They were terrible yesterday. I mean, the Suns were... That's what kept them in it. Game 3 and Game 4, that's the only source of offense they really had outside of iso ball is just going to the free throw line.
Cat would get tackled on his way to the rim, and they wouldn't call it. And then... they'd brush up against KD or Booker, and it would be immediate foul.
Yeah, it's incredibly. I mean, Devin Booker was out there throwing elbows like he was ludicrous in 2001. So it was
Brilliant.
It was super frustrating to watch. But that's how good the Wolves are. That even the refs can't rig the game against them, and even 3 of the top 20 players in the NBA have absolutely nothing for them.
So I know that it's a very good possibility that we don't play for basically a week, and even a slighter possibility that we don't play for like a week and a half. That being said, we're relatively healthy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know that. Yeah, except for our coach. I know that Ant, he's been rolling his ankle. You saw a couple last night, but he played through it. It seems fine. I mean, everybody's going to enjoy the rest, and they're probably going to get all the bumps and bruises healed up. But, we don't have any significant injuries.
No,
right?
and like Max said earlier, let's say Denver wins tonight. They have to wait for that Clippers-Mavs series anyway.
Eastern,
So if you're worried about the Wolves getting rusty, waiting for a week and change, possibly, I mean, the Nuggets are going to wait 4, 5, 6 days as well. Both teams, right, if they win tonight, and I expect them to, it's going to be at home. Both teams will have a good chunk to get healthy, and I don't think the rust factor is going to be a good excuse. And I think both teams, unless something weird happens tonight, are going to be healthy. So no major injuries, no excuses. Let's go.
Jamal Murray is questionable tonight, though.
Is he really?
Yeah, I believe he's questionable tonight. I think he has something going on with his calf. So that could be big. If he's not playing, that could be big.
The Twins won 11-5 over the Angels. They complete the sweep. The Twins have now won 7 straight. They will look to make it 8 straight today against the worst team in baseball. The second worst team in baseball, the White Sox at 6:40. That's Twins News powered by Quantum Fiber.
That's great, guys.
Nailed it.
Yeah. Would you guys like some Rocco audio?
Yeah, can we hear about the sausage?
Oh, do you want that?
We'll hear any of it.
Where did you learn the sausage?
You don't know about the sausage? They're nuts.
You don't know about? Oh, you will.
The baseball
You
sausage.
stay right there because he's got
There's a
summer
baseball
sausage
sausage.
going on.
Yeah,
It's
there's a
baseball
twin sausage.
They throw sausage at each other down at the Twins now.
Mm-hmm. They're sausage slingers.
They're tossing sausage.
Yeah,
They're tossing
Zach
sausage.
applied.
Sometimes you got to toss some sausage. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. I'm stalling.
Talk about it, brother.
They got rally meat.
Ooh, rally meat.
Genius.
The Twins' new rally meat.
All right. It's in there.
I am intrigued now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Braunschweigert, is it?
Ugh, who is that?
Oh, there it is. Here we go.
Anybody.
It's a summer tangy sausage is what it is. I actually looked at the package yesterday. This it's bringing us a lot of hits and runs and stuff. So I'm all for it. I mean, for anyone that hasn't been following, it's a substantial packaged, sausage that Jeffers has been carrying around in his bag and throwing at people when we score runs and hit homers. So I'm all for it. I'm slightly concerned as like, I'm not even an adult, but slightly concerned as like more of an adult than maybe some of the people in the other room, that the package is going to open up and the thing hasn't been refrigerated in many days. And there's no doubt that when that thing opens up, whoever's touching it is in deep trouble. Like that thing is there's no doubt in my mind that we are carrying around something that is very, very unhealthy to the human body.
Oh,
I just love how he was dancing around all of it. Like, I
can't believe I'm talking about this.
He kept taking button bar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Too bad Rosie didn't say all of those things.
I'm so
we'll
jealous of what they have there, just in terms of just baseball. Like he was talking about it. They're just a bunch of juvenile kids that are just playing a game and making millions of dollars. Like they're just hanging out. They get so bored with all these road trips and stuff. They're like, let's throw meat at each other and just hopefully that catches on.
Yeah.
But that's baseball, man. There's too many games.
I know. I'm jealous. Like, what a life. If you can make it in Major League Baseball, even if you're not like a top tier guy, you make good money and you just like mess around like a bunch of seventh graders.
Yeah. Even as little kids, you watch them, they're not even paying attention. They're just sitting there in the dirt, just drawing their name or whatever.
A lot of days off.
Yeah.
Think if you're like a high end starting pitcher. I know there's a lot of prep in between. You pitch once a week. That's it. Yeah. Then you start throwing sausage around.
Yeah,
right?
I bet it hurts, man.
Yeah.
I bet it hurts your shoulder to throw the ball.
Rally meat.
Yeah, I'm sure. But that's sweet, man.
Yeah, good for them.
Good for them,
they got to keep it up.
And you know what? Sometimes you got to remember that you're just out there playing a game, and then you have fun, and then you play better, right?
Yeah, seven straight's great. New York beat the Sixers 97-92 to take a 3-1 series lead. Game 5 is tomorrow in New York.
Man, Jalen Brunson is so freaking
He's
good.
so
dude.
good, man.
Nobody thought he was going to be this good. Like, he's one of the best New York Knicks of all time. Like, he's easily the best player on the floor in that series. It's really fun to watch.
The Clippers beat the Mavs 116-111. The Mavs were down by 31 at one point. So that series is tied 2-2. Game 5.
And they came back and took the lead.
Yeah, correct.
They had a late fourth quarter lead and then blew it anyway because Harden took over late. But down 31, and the Clippers almost blew it.
Yeah. And Kyrie hit one of the best shots you'll ever see in NBA history. It was absolutely just a circus shot that only he could hit.
Game 5 is Wednesday in L.A.
Max?
Yeah, that's not my name.
Hey,
That's
Max.
him.
Hey.
That guy at that protest is you. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, I know. It looks exactly like
Have
me.
you guys seen that? Did you tweet it?
What protest?
No, I didn't tweet it yet. Because there's been all these protests happening at campuses all around the United States. And people always, literally anytime anyone even has anything resembling an afro, it could be honestly a bush. And someone will tweet a picture to me and be like, is this you? And then someone sent me a picture and they're like, is this you? And then I was like, holy bleep. Is that me? Have I ever been to Texas?
How is that not you?
Was I hypnotized in protesting without knowing? Like, it looks exactly like me.
You got to tweet it so they can see what I'm talking about.
All right, I'm going to tweet it right now.
I'm sure it's you. I don't care what you say. I don't even care what side you're on.
It might be me.
I don't even care. I'm sure it's you.
Maybe this is like the movie The Island, and that's his clone.
Maybe.
And that'd be cool.
Yeah, it looks like the police are beating my ass.
It is. It's a good film.
It's a good film, and I think it's a Michael Bay movie, so it gets a little Michael Bay-ish at the end. But I still love the concept.
It's a cool concept.
I like that movie.
Me too.
ScarJo.
Scott ScarJo and Ewan McGregor.
And Ewan McGregor. Scarlett Johansson.
Zacho?
Plays
That's me.
Hey, the Avs smoked the Jets 5-1. They lost that game one,
Delta
like,
Burke?
what was it, 7-6?
Not Delta Burke.
They have dominated to take a 3-1 series lead over the Jets.
Because they all had Greek names, right?
Yeah, things are starting to kind of even out after a weird start. You're starting to see the Oilers start to pull away, and the Canucks, after messing around with the Predators, are now looking like they'll clinch here sometime soon. So, and of course the Rangers. Oh my goodness, taking out OV and the Caps.
She was Jordan 2 Delta. He was
Baklava?
Lincoln 6 Echo.
Excuse me?
Right, that's right.
So we had the Delta part right, but it's Jordan 2 Delta.
Right.
Delta Burke.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Woodhawk.
Of course. Yeah.
Certainly.
Delta Bird.
She parties.
Oh, yeah. Man, I haven't thought about her in ages.
Yeah, Hawk.
I haven't thought about her in hours.
Zacho, the Panthers and Lightning battle tonight. The Panthers lead that series 3-1. The Panthers are a very good hockey team.
Yeah, Bobrovsky and company leading the way, and so I wouldn't doubt we see the end of that series tonight, and then all eyes will be over on the Golden Knights and the Stars game over in Vegas as the Golden Knights lead that series 2-1.
Man, they should be up 3-0.
It was so close, and they just blew it, and hopefully they can rebound because, I don't know, I just don't like the Stars.
Why?
They moved there from Minnesota a while ago.
Yeah.
They did?
What?
Yeah.
We gotta let that go.
Deep-seated resentment.
Look at their Wikipedia
From what
page.
city?
We got to be over there.
They played in Bloomington for a while.
Do you hate the Los
Bloomington,
Angeles
Indiana?
Lakers?
Bloomington had its own hockey team?
Yeah.
But the Wild were pissed, I bet.
For the Wild.
Yeah, they must have been.
Yeah.
The
You
morning
okay, Zach?
radio.
Your thoughts on Norm Green?
He sucks.
Whoa.
and
Your
he
thoughts
also
on Norm
likes
Macdonald?
his secretaries way too much.
How about
Norm
Jack
is
Black?
awesome. Jack Black,
Yeah.
Tenacious D, also is in a band called Tenacious D.
That's a great band.
What about Black Jack?
Very good to me in some ways and very bad to me in others.
What about your daddy?
I
Sure
like
got
my daddy.
weird.
I don't know what just happened.
Do you like
I was
your
asking
daddy?
A
Yeah.
legit question.
He's sitting next to me.
Sure.
What was your question?
I don't remember.
Yeah, what was your question?
Something about April Wine.
April. Isn't that a
April
band?
Wine.
That's a band,
Oh
right?
my God, I haven't heard April Wine in forever.
Will you play
Wait,
a little
what is
bit?
April
play
Wine?
10
Is that
seconds.
actually
of
a
it.
real
band.
thing?
Yeah.
It's a band?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
I've heard of strawberry wine.
Yes,
Between
that's a
you and
good
me,
song.
Baby, our love will always
Or
be.
red wine.
Great. Well, that's
Hate
enough.
it.
That's all I got.
Yeah, that's all we can play.
All I can play.
Yep, don't like it.
Yeah.
And I just violated the license.
You just did what?
Hey, when we come back, let's do Vikings news.
How about we just quit?
I mean, it's not zero. It's an option.
We can just turn the cameras on and you can do what you
turn
did
the
in the
cameras
commercial
on.
break.
Yeah.
And then you can just.
Well, we get canceled.
I
Not
want to see
quit.
Must slap the worm.
Yeah, I want to see Must do the
Is that what you're
worm.
going to do?
Well, it's not the rally wiener or sausage.
okay.
Sorry.
Rally meat.
Jeez, that was a
rally
Freudian
meat.
slip. Ben, when we come back, we'll talk about the Vikings draft. But also, I want to ask you a football question. You're not supposed to ask questions you already know the answer to. I know
Sure.
your answer.
Okay.
I just haven't heard your explanation. So,
I can't wait.
It's-
Touch it.
but everybody else can join in. Everybody else will have opinions on this.
Oh, good.
But, I want to hear Ben's breakdown of something football related. After this Power Trip Morning Show on.
Country music superstar Kenny Chesney is coming to U.S. Bank Stadium this Saturday on the Sun Goes Down tour with special guest Zach Brown Band, Megan Maroney, and Uncle Cracker. Tickets are still available, and you can get yours today at KFAN.com at the keyword calendar.
Did you just say Roman Maroney?
Megan Maroney?
Oh,
I prefer Auntie Honky.
you guys remember Roman Maroney?
No.
No?
I've never seen Johnny Dangerously.
Remember Lawrence Maroney?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
Anyway, tickets are available. KFAN.com calendar.
Murmur.
And if you want to win tickets, call Max. 1-800-320-5326. Caller number 14 is going to go to the show.
Call me now.
Okay.
Did you tweet that picture yet?
Yep, I'm tweeting it right
Please do.
now.
'Cause these guys got to know what I'm talking
Right, meow.
about. Naked
All
and
right.
afraid. Ben Labor.
Okay.
Would you do Naked and Afraid, Ben?
I've thought about it.
He's asking for a friend.
Yeah.
My mom
They
and dad.
blur it out.
My mom and dad were in town
I know.
for a few days, and they love that show. And when I watched it for the first time in my life. No chance would I ever do that.
I don't know if I would try a challenge like that, not necessarily have to be naked.
We don't have to.
You
But-
choose to be because it's fun.
Yeah, no, I feel where you're
I
coming
mean,
from.
I get that the being part of the elements and all that stuff is a big part of it, but no, if I was just out there like in a t-shirt and shorts, I'd like to try a challenge like that.
It's always the bugs that get me.
Oh, the bugs would be the worst.
Yeah, they get eaten up all over.
Yeah,
I
and I
can't
don't
do
even
that.
know. I've watched this show so many times. I'm like, okay, I could do that as long as you don't put me in that environment. But basically, I've just boiled it down to like, I don't know if I could really do it because I wouldn't want to be in a super hot climate Because I don't do well in the heat. That's one of the reasons why I love Minnesota. Like,
but
I don't
in the
do well
cold, then they got it. It's less of a blur.
Yeah, but then in the cold, it's like, oh man, like I hate that feeling of like never being able to warm up and like shivering all through the night.
When it's raining and it's awful.
Oh yeah, and then you get if you get that like
get warm.
That 45-degree rain, that would be the worst.
That show just reminds us that in the 300,000 year, give or take, history of humans, how did we survive?
I don't know.
I don't know.
And then you had all the predators and all that stuff that want to eat you.
Because all of these people that are on these challenges know that the production team is there. They know that if they have to tap out, they can tap out. Right. But for the last couple 100,000 years, it was just figure it out. Well, there's too many bugs.
Yeah.
Sorry, meat sauce. There's no option. This isn't a TV show.
Where's MLB The Show?
And this
14,000 years ago.
I
Figure
hate
it out.
12-year-old in me that every time I'm scrolling through it, I'm like, ooh, naked. I just see the word naked on there. I'm like, well, I guess I got to watch that.
Watch it.
Yeah, watch TV with 12-year-olds. What are you doing? Hey, you know the thing though, for real, being naked, the bugs, the rats, all that stuff, whatever. I couldn't eat any of what they eat.
That's the problem.
I couldn't.
Yeah, you could when you're starving.
Maybe you're right, but I wouldn't even know. Like the one I was watching, they were catching alligators. You know, little ones. And then they were like, "Wow, this is gonna be great. We're gonna make a steak out of this." I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I felt the same way about Survivor. Forget Naked and Afraid. Just, they have to either make rice or catch fish. I'm like, what the hell would I do on Survivor for 30 days?
Yeah, where's the breading?
I'd be dead. Right.
There's no cans here.
Right. Can the exotic place that they have us be Cheddar Bay?
Yeah.
So I can just find some biscuits in the forest?
So good.
Yeah.
How the hell would I survive for a month?
It's an interesting show, though, I got to say.
You wouldn't.
Yeah, it's super fun. It's super fun. And you've seen Alone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's even
weirder,
more
man.
extreme.
Yeah, that one's hard. I don't know. I mean, again, I know, like you were saying, Corey, they have people watching them, but I don't know how how they've never had somebody accidentally get bitten by a giant snake.
Yeah.
And just, dead.
Well, did you ever see that episode? It was a couple of years ago where the production crew actually got bit by a ver de lance, I think is what they call it.
Oh my God.
A snake.
Yeah, like the most deadly one anywhere.
Yeah, and got bit in the foot as they're out there just doing their scouting stuff to find like where they're going to put the contestants. And like they showed the picture of the producer's foot. Like half the foot got eaten away by the venom and the flesh-eating part of it.
Ick.
Yeah. So they're like, oh yeah, they could be walking around and step on a ver de lance. I'm like, I'm out. I'm not even getting out of the Jeep.
Get
not getting out of the Jeep.
Out of here.
Yep.
Film it with your iPhone. Shut up. I'm going home.
Yeah, I'll be back. I quit. Keep
my
the money.
PSR rating, I don't care, is a 0.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Baldwin shoot me on the set than have that happen.
We can arrange that.
Oh, but that's an exaggeration.
It's time for Vikings news on the Power Trip, presented by
Your truck accessories.
All right, before we get into the Vikings draft and ask Ben more questions about the weekend that the Vikings just had, let's go back to the Pat McAfee show from last week. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell was on the Pat McAfee show and said he wants an 18-game schedule. He would like 2 preseason games, 18-game regular season schedule. This is going to piss off Sauce and Hawk, but I'm just going to say it. Roger Goodell said, quote, "I'm not a fan of the preseason."
Oh, well, he's wrong, right, Hawk?
Yeah, he couldn't be more wrong.
Yeah, he couldn't be more wrong.
So, Ben, here's a couple of things he floated, and I think all of these are tip of the cap, A-plus ideas, but let's hear your breakdown. Going to 18 games, of course, would have to be negotiated by the NFLPA, right? They'd have to collectively bargain that out. But if they do, one of his thoughts is 18 regular season games, 2 preseason, but that would likely add a second bye week. He also, in the next 10 years, can see 16 international games a year. So basically, everyone is flying somewhere at least once a year. That's the
play
idea.
into March, then apparently.
Well, that's the best part about this, and that's where I was going. He envisions Super Bowl Sunday moving back a couple of weeks to President's Day weekend by adding the second bye week.
Yep.
It would be President's Day weekend because Monday is a national holiday anyway. So he's saying there's your built-in Monday off. So Super Bowl Sunday would still be Super Bowl Sunday. Everybody could party. Everybody could get hammered. Nobody works Monday. Your thoughts?
I love it. Yeah, I actually think it's if the way that the players look at it too is, yes, you're adding a regular season game, but it's still 20 games. I mean, whether you get 4 preseason games and 16 game schedule, it's still 20 20 contests, 20 games that you have to get ready for mentally. Now, I get it. If you're, if you're a top tier player, you're not usually playing much of that last fourth preseason game when we had it. But you still are preparing. You're still doing all the stuff. You're doing the practices. Like the lead up to it, the whole idea is that you want to be regular season ready. So you're approaching those games and those weeks as if it's a regular season game, so you can hit the ground running week one. But you're not getting paid like it. You're still getting preseason pay. So yes, if you can work it out to where the NFLPA and the NFL now say, all right, 2 preseason games, and then we have an 18-game schedule where you're getting paid on a regular season salary, I think a lot of players say, yeah, I would like to do that. Like, why not? I'm getting paid more money, and I get a second week off. I don't know. I think it all makes sense from a fan standpoint. I think the fans actually get a little tired of consistent football, especially now with betting and setting lines and all this other stuff. It gets a little exhausting. Have a couple weeks in there where you just focus on college football. Maybe college football gets some time to shine, however they work out those bye weeks or whatever. But I think that taking away some of the games and having a full slate of games the whole season and like having these built-in breaks, I get that they're not going to take 2 weeks completely off, but having these teams just refresh, get guys back healthy. That's the whole reason. That's part of the whole reason why they added the second week before the Super Bowl, was to get everybody healthy. Like, let's get everybody's best shot. Everybody back healthy, give them the best game with the best possible roster. You can do that more often with regular season games with 2 built-in bye weeks for each team. Plus, you get the overseas games, which we all know around here is super fun. I'm for it.
18 games. Would you think that the NFLPA would also want to expand the roster? Because that's just a lot of actual playing games. You know, where you got the 2 preseason games, you're not using your entire roster on that.
I would say no.
Yeah.
I would say no because, again, you're not really adding a lot more games because you're just the starters still, they may or may not play some of these preseason games. I mean, yes, you're really kind of splitting hairs with the number of snaps you're actually playing in the course of the season. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, if you add in another game to the schedule, regular season game, then your weekly pay goes up. But it's all still taken from the same pool of money. So if you add more players, you're actually taking away a little bit of what you could be making. So if I'm the NFLPA and I'm the players, I think that you continually tweak the IR designation. You continually tweak like how much you can be off the roster and on the roster. I think in-season call-ups for little bits of time, if we get some of these other sub-leagues to like pick up and actually be like worthy of these farm systems, then I think that you can add some rosters here and there as just like, oh, this is a guy's a 3-week call-up, he'll go back down and we'll call him back up if whatever. I wouldn't want to expand the roster.
But it's like when the Black Eyed Peas added Fergie. Sure, it's more mouths to feed, but now they had worldwide success instead of just being an under-the-radar niche.
Lovely lady line.
Respected band.
Yeah,
by the way, remember that when the Black Eyed Peas were like well-respected because they were like cool and underground?
Well, who doesn't respect me? Give me a list.
Who doesn't respect me? They're terrible.
They're great. They got a bunch of bangers. Yeah. Saucer, what do you think?
I think it's great. More football, the better. I love football. I love the idea of having the Super Bowl be on President's Day weekend. That's awesome. More football, the better. But I will say, I know you guys think it's a bit. I love preseason football. It's great because it means that like the football season is there. It's the appetizer to the main event. It's awesome. We don't have to pretend we like baseball anymore. It's the best time of year when preseason football rolls around, and hockey's the only one that cares about this. But it's 13 weeks from Thursday.
Let's go.
Is the Hall of Fame game.
But you love football, right?
Yeah.
And you like preseason football.
Yeah.
So this way you would have 2 stupid games, and then you would get to the real stuff even faster.
Yeah,
it's the same amount of. It's the same number of weeks.
But
it doesn't change that at all.
Correct. But I speak for my client, Chris Hockey. Don't get rid of the preseason. We need those games.
But that's okay if they just do 2.
Yeah, I'm fine with 2.
Perfect.
Yeah, 2 is great.
0 is the right number.
Oh, stop it, Gypsy Rose.
Jeez, what a reference.
Oh, since we're going around the room, everybody good with this? Any
I like all of
pushback?
it.
Why did you call him that?
I think all of it's badass.
Yeah, I think the key is the second bye week that they're going to have. That's really important.
Right. I don't know about the 16 games overseas, man. That seems like a lot, but it's going to happen. It's cool.
But he said that's over the next 10 years. And again, that does work out, give or take, to one, right? Everybody goes one.
Once, yeah.
And the other thing about having an even number, of course, is then if it's 18, everybody has 9 home games, 9 road games. Right now, it's an odd number.
Yeah.
Right? It's an imbalanced schedule.
Every other year you get 9.
Right. It should be the same every year because then it's the most fair.
Yeah.
Oh, Hawk, how would you feel? How would you feel if the Vikings were playing in Brazil?
Dude, I would enjoy that immensely. What about you?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I would go everywhere but Mexico City.
Just thongs all day long.
Yeah, man. I love that.
Is that all you're going to bring?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, by the way, speaking of
I
that,
feel like I've been split in half.
I know somebody, not Ron Johnson, who knows Cisco very well and claims that Fridays, a lot of times, Cisco leaves the town because he goes and plays shows all over the world on the weekends. But during the week, he's here a lot. That's what I was told. And that I think we have a pretty direct connection to Cisco, maybe Monday through Thursday. Doesn't really get him to play initials, but I think we can get Cisco on the show with one phone call.
Oh, I bet
it's not Ron Johnson.
I bet you he can play initials. I mean, I'm guessing he's not booked out every Friday.
Well, sounds like you'd be surprised. It sounds like he gets out of town pretty frequently.
But I just want to have him in. I don't care if he plays.
Yeah, let's talk thongs with Cisco.
Yeah.
I want to throw that thong to thong tong.
Exactly.
Right.
I don't know if Hawk is stuttering or if he knows the song.
I think it's a little of column A, little of column B.
It's like every time Zach says Bobrovsky, I think he's just stuttering.
Doing a Saturday Night Live bit.
Yeah, great bit.
Anyway, you mentioned thongs and I got distracted.
No, it's fine.
Happens
It's
every
fine.
time.
Yeah, baby.
Happens
It's
every
like
time.
Lawyer Lambert and Rosie at Circa,
They're out there to play blackjack, though.
of course.
Hey, Ben, do you remember the national championship game
Vaguely.
of college football?
Vaguely, yeah.
Alabama and Michigan?
Yep.
Wasn't that the fun one where like it almost ended a few times and finally the kickers came down to the kickers and stuff like that? Is that right?
I don't think so.
I don't remember.
Yeah, the national. So that was the game before the national.
Yeah, that's right.
That was the Rose Bowl.
I'm sorry. That was the Auburn game, wasn't it? Yeah.
Our guy JJ McCarthy let him down the field,
game.
but Ben, that
making up stuff now.
I can't remember. Anyway, the kicker who did all that kicking is our kicker now.
yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, Will Reichert.
and that pass bit of McCarthy where they threw the throwback pass to him and he threw it.
Yeah.
It's Dallas Turner that hits him.
Yeah.
That buries him into the ground.
Yeah. When I posted
That's a great
when
play.
I posted that, I was just like more concerned about the McCarthy play, and then I completely neglected the fact to look to see who hit him or even care. And then the second, like, hey, that's the guy that we just drafted too. They hit him. Like, oh yeah,
Turner, day one starter.
Yes.
For people that have not watched a lot of Dallas Turner, again, in a normal draft year, right? He was a top 10-ish prospect. A lot of people thought he was going to go 8th to Atlanta before they did the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But anyway, in a normal year, if you just had one draft pick and Dallas Turner was the pick, I think most teams would roll him out for the introductory press conference and be super jacked that you have this super flashy, fast edge rusher.
Yeah.
He is kind of an afterthought because for the first time in team history, we have a top 10 quarterback because they took McCarthy 10th. So I think he's not getting talked enough about because everybody's fascinated by the quarterback. So what does Dallas Turner do well? How's he going to fit into the Flores defense? What do you like about him?
I'm going to say just one thing, and then I'm going to hand it over to the guy that I want to continue to give praise for nailing this pick is Meat Sauce. Look, we all know that the SEC is. I know a lot of people in Big Ten country are going to get a little upset, but is consistently top to bottom the best football conference in college football, right? I get that Michigan won the national championship, all that stuff. But this is the SEC Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about the number of defensive players and the talent across the board in the SEC, and this was the best of the best. So he was a top 10 prospect that we were able to secure. So that's what I'll say about that. Sausage, you take her away.
Well, he played with who was the guy that went 3rd overall? Will Anderson Jr. went 3rd overall.
Dude, you got to give us time to guess.
To the Houston Texans last year. He had 10 sacks last year without him, right? And that's how he's getting, he's getting double teamed and all that. The one thing they say about him though is he's got one move where he just gets his arm into you because he's got such long arms and just buries you into the ground. He's a dynamite player, man. He should have been the first defensive player drafted. I have no idea why Atlanta selected him. He he's going to be a very, very good
why Atlanta
pass.
didn't select him?
Yeah, why they didn't select him. Yeah, he's going to be a very good pass rusher, and he's one of those guys that like you're going to look back and go, I'm glad they gave up all that stuff for him. Mm-hmm. He's going to start day one, and Brian Flores has an absolute tool to work with. That's how good he's going to be.
I'm just going off the highlights, his sizzle reel, and honestly, he reminds me of. Now he's not as tall, but he reminds me of Jared, where he's just so long. He's got the long arms.
The guy from Subway? Jared
Yes,
Fogle?
exactly.
I met him at the Final Four. He seemed like a nice guy.
Yeah.
I'm not a great judge of character.
But no, he reminds me of him because he can get out on the out. He's so fast, but then he can get really thin really quickly. I mean, the guy is... I thought that was just a tremendous pickup for us.
Yeah, I think the stat is he's the only edge defender that ran a 4.4. He ran a 4.46.
My goodness.
He's just shy of 250 pounds. And to what these guys are already saying, tremendous speed to power. I mean, that is the one thing. His get off and the speed off the line, legit. He doesn't always have to rely on that. He can actually get that long arm underneath with leverage and push guys back. I mean, even listening to Bill Belichick talk about this guy and Saban talk about this guy, it's like he does everything that you want him to do as a rusher. He can rush inside, he can rush outside, he can stand in a 2-point stance, he can go a 3-point stance. And you talk about his character. I mean, the guy's a top-notch character dude. I mean, tremendous leader, super quiet, leads by example. Comes from a great family. We're going to love him in this community.
How great was it on Twitter? Everybody loving the Dallas Turner pick, and then Belichick comes out and raves about him, and they're like, oh, God dang it, we got a bust. Like, as Belichick was raving about it.
I was going to say this, by the way. That is funny. You're right. But I can't believe I'm saying this. I like Belichick on TV.
Yeah.
He's doing a good job, man.
He was great with McAfee.
Yeah. Right. I thought he was really good, too.
It's like it's an odd couple that you wouldn't normally, you would think on paper, like, how is this going to work? But he felt really comfortable with them, and he was awesome.
And he just destroyed the Drake May pick.
Did he really?
I didn't hear that. Did he?
He did?
Yeah.
Wow.
What did he say about
Bridges,
him?
huh?
Just that he just doesn't think he's ready, that whole bit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's partially, he's on a bad team because of the roster he built, but yeah, he was not a fan.
All right, Fan 5 in a second. The Wolves beat the Suns. We'll talk about the sweep after this on The Fan.
The Fan.